pressure here. So Edge decided winning this tug of war, the attrition battle in terms of turret. So that's good news for them.
Exactly, and Solos managed to pick up that endless battle already. So a little bit more power spike into Aldous. He can use that contract chase phase to actually assassinate squishy targets. In this case, I would say it's actually the Selena, because if you go against the high up he can still dash away.
Meanwhile, Greenbacks will get caught off by Grok and the rest of the members of BTR. Gonna kill that solo pick over here. I think Grok wanted, Kaya wanted to defend the lane the way, but the information that he has isn't enough, and he got picked off so easily. And Kaya has been one of the support tanks that he's very, very squishy as a particular tank. He's not the primary tank that you want to go with.
And of course, with that being said, late game is gonna be quite a problem with that underlevel Akai that they have. And of course, when we look into BTR, we talk about that early game and how they can snowball. And they are trying to utilize this momentum that they have. Abyssal Arrow over onto Fredo, almost clipping it, but
then Gripbacks again getting caught off guard. Alice will kill off this bird. If it's a bird call over here, Birdman. But then again, look at this, BTR just putting pressure onto the turret. It's so fun to watch this type of aggressive play coming in from the Singaporean side.
Yeah, I actually love what I'm seeing here from the side of Megatron SG, because as much as they don't have LY4 with them, they are playing that trademark sieging across the map here. Every time they go for a trade, there's bound to be something happening on the Megatron side as well.
Aldous was left farming by his own, so I'm not sure whether there's a call by Megatron SG because you're giving this solo player lots of farm, which you don't want to, but at the same time you are putting down. He's able to kill off one member of Pikachu, but then the rest of them.
The rest was held back, and now they're going in for the launch already.
Early launch here, but there is a risk here because right now the rest of the members of Pikachu SG will respond. Sana with the Grok, he can deal so much annoyance here. Can Asia Saiyan secure this launch? Mr. B comes in with the chow, the way of the dragon, and now the launch still taking. The launch will be Asia Saiyan, but Satu Padu down below. They will go secure the launch and secure 2 kills.
My oh my, and we talked about momentum. Now Asia Saiyan is taking a little bit of that lead. The goal is still on the hands of Megatron SG, just one KD difference, but this Lord will definitely rush through.
Make it 2. They have turrets as well. 3 turrets down below. Wow, that's so you know Asia Saiyan starting out very strong, but Solos, he has to be careful. Holy moly! Just slammed them down there. He's gonna use his ultimate. He's gonna go here. Sing, you have to run away. It's not enough as the crowd goes wild. 1 hit, 2 hit. WQXD running away like a ninja he is. But no, he's gonna run back. He's gonna say, Fanny Lake is getting caught by the meta kill of Luna. The rest of the members of Asia Saiyan will push forward.
Oh my goodness, that turnaround was so beautifully done there. And we just see Solos coming online with a contract chase phase, immediately taking out Selena with a blow. They're rushing in the mid lane. Top lane is being occupied by the Lord. They can actually go all the way ham and possibly end the game if they want to. But they gotta look out of the timer here.
They're able to take down 1 lane already, making a double one as Asia Saiyan Hurricane Dance onto the archive. The rest of the members will slay and play down the opponents. Megatron SG wanting to salvage from this event. Solos behind enemy lines. Slam dunk double dunk down below. WKXD running away again, but Fatalip is back there. Sana, the
holding
only
the waves.
member. He has to be careful. He has to trick Strutt. He's gonna run away from his base. There's so much trouble, so much damage coming in from Adrian's side.
And Bigatron SG still managed to hold the fort, but they are trying to push the bot lane as well. This is really dangerous.
Wow, they're gonna push it.
Oh no, he is on half health. WQXD putting up with the pressure, and he goes in for a chase. Like back over to the back, but over on the side, Sana still trying to
running back.
keep them occupied. They don't want them to back away. Solo's being brought down low, but no one else will chase in. Look at the face of Bigatron SG. One moment they will find, the next you see almost a ball base. Man,
Oh, face, man. The snowball just turned around. Mr. V will deny that divine judgment. But hey, look at this. Okay, Aldous is not gonna commit to the ultimate, but Mr. V, a good move. The immunity disrupts the divine judgment ulti coming in from Kaya, so he's able to escape away. And again, once more, Edge Zion, so much potential, so much pressure back into the faces of Bigatron SG.
exactly. And now it's going into the later phases of the game. This is where we talk about the Eldest, how he shines. And that contract chase phase was so beautiful. I gotta highlight it once more because they need to take down the Selena, and that's a surefire way to eliminate her. And Mr. V, now it's the late game. The Cho can't exactly dish out the damage. He's already 0-3. What can he actually do? He can't kick the Kaya in. He can't even kick the Martis. It's really difficult for the side of Bigatron now. They need to play it passively, and in half a minute, there's gonna be another Lord.
Another Lord indeed. Solos coming in, taking down here with the help of Logan. The Hurricane Dance will not catch anyone off guard, but Jahan will pick up the wings of a Bakoli Squid. But then Mr. V will not get killed by that, but he will be Luna secure the kill. WQXD with the Hayabusa slicing and dicing down one of the members of Air Zion. And now, hey, look at this. Wait a minute. Air Zion, they have been a little bit of trouble over here. They're going
Oh
to
my God,
lose
he
some members
survives.
of it. Oh, Sonos comes into play. Drop will kill off Akai down below, and the war will slowly but surely continue. But before that, let's take a breather.
Yes, we gotta take a breather here, and now they will slowly reset everything from the side of Edge because there's nothing to push from the mid lane, nothing from the top side as well, because the only thing left is the Nexus. So they gotta go back to the base, get back to the helm, wait for Punjaha and Logan to come online, and they will contest for that Lord, which is already online. Sana just have to scout it out because they could have possibly attempted it way earlier without even them noticing. Because Bigatron SG, they gotta take this really huge risk. Should they actually fight at the Lord pit, or should they just try to hold their best inside of the base? Because when they do, every single other wave is pushing in, especially over the bottom side. You can see Aegis saying prepping for this one already.
They will try for it, and Bigatron SG, perhaps they want to risk this, they want to take the Lord into their hands. At the same time, Edge Zion, there's so much CC, they can come in as well. Akai will get poked down by a little bit of Bigatron
Now this
SG.
is actually the backdoor from
Bottom
the bottom.
lane.
This is bad. They're forcing one member down, and
I
that's
think
gonna be Hayabusa.
WQXD was over there to protect this lane, and they will try reset. But then the mid lane is going to push forward. Solos, he's coming in, he's drilling it hard. Pound and pound down here. The magic will come for the play. The one punch Solos, the one punch Elders will come in. Akai will get the kill first, but then he will fall down to drop the rest of the members of Bigatron SG. They are coming back. They're getting 3 kills to 1. They are going to
Oh my word!
Edge Zion, what are you doing? As Bigatron SG will push forward. Martis the Shuriken will slice it down. But then, is this enough? Is this enough to secure and continue on the push and the pressure coming in for Edge Zion?
And
Oh,
I think that was a really risky move from Aegis, saying they tried to catch one member out, but you need Aldous to go in much later on. Bigatron SG holding their ground so well, taking 3 members out in that fight itself. So there's a little bit of breath of life. 11-15. This is getting so close.
this is really a little breath of life, my bad over there. But then you have to see, Bigatron SG is now fully exposed. All lanes gone, leaving on the crystal base alive. But hey,
Immortality on
Zion,
good decks.
they have 3 more turrets as well beforehand. So it's anyone's game comparing to the first game that we've seen. Team Geekfam Icon going up against Evos SG. This is a little bit much more balanced. I feel like anything can go right now. 16 minutes down the game, we are officially into the late game era.
Yes, and we see a prolific brawl in the hands of WQX. out that extra life steal as well as damage, and now that's going to be Mr. V catching over on to Fredo, but Fredo will be spared for now. There's no follow-up at all because they have to deal with the Atlas. They have to deal with the top lane as well, and when any members appear, that's call time for the side of Asia Saints, but now Solo's getting caught here.
Whoa. Hey there, Solos. You gotta be careful because there are 3 members down below to kill you off. And a little bit of a mistake coming in for Edge might lead them to the downfall. The rest of the members of BTR. One push forward. Chikundo, the way of the dragon. Well, what chow. Down that one, but then Logan is still surviving. Hey, Megatron SG is not giving up yet. They're gonna push forward as well.
Alex.
Oh, look. Wow.
Beautiful blunt. Oh, she's still surviving.
She's still surviving over there. Oh, and Selena finally kills on their Archive. Now, it's only left 3 members.
Oh, look at Hayabusa. Look at Hayabusa right now. He's actually taking the Lord by himself, and this might just be Bigatron taking it in the bag. Oh my word, this is a good news for them as they hang on. They will need Alice to defend, and I just say it, they hesitated, and now they lose this Lord.
Chow and Alice picks up the immortality, making these 2 semi-tanks very hard to kill with the second chance in life, as well as the Lord into the favors of Bigatron SG. Team Edge Science, what is their game plan right now? How are they going to defend from
Well,
this
I think that Sagan could still take out the Lord. It's just that they may just lose that bottom lane tower, and that's where BTR needs to decide how will they rotate. But Sana right now keeping up with the pressure, and Ripek still has his immortality, forced to flick away with that wall being set up. So that's a good play coming in from the side of Sana. Over in the mid lane, we have one wave in, and Bigatron SG.
Oh, hello there.
Missing out on the position of Solos as press backdoor.
Okay, here comes Logan, able to lock down onto Sing Si, but then the rest of the members need to follow up on the damage. Alice will kill off the Panda Warrior first in hand, and Solos comes in at the right time. One turn, but where is the follow-up? Oh no, he's gonna get kicked out by Chow, and there will be a kill from Lunox to say Alda's able to kill off Chow, but then this is not your primary dealer. You have to kill off
Hayabusa's pushing from the middle lane.
Hayabusa over there.
Oh my word!
Bajahan missing out with the bottom coil. Sorry, Ashura Aura here as Bajahan and Solos wants to take it down. The rest of the members of the push on. Lord is down, but still a health. They have to stop the Lord first before he pushes into the base. The rest of the members of Edge Science will fall, as this will be very hard for them. Solos and Bajahan leaving only 2 members. I think that would be checkmate.
Definitely check it, and the first game will go into the hands of Bigatron Singapore. My oh my, this was a nail biter. It was so close for both sides. It went swinging left and right, and at the end of it all, they managed to punish one mistake from Aegis, and that was it. They went in for the Lord, and they closed the game. Bigatron SG on the lead.
I mean, this is a game that everybody should be watching. Never give up. If you make one silly mistake, it's okay. Pick yourself up.
Surrender.
It's not that
Oh,
way.
do not surrender.
Don't surrender.
That's what you wanted to say.
Because
Okay, I
right
totally
now,
forgot.
everybody's saying like double comebacks. You have Air Asia Cyan coming back, hoping to get the victory, but Bigatron stay firm to their ground, managed to punish Air Asia Cyan and going in with the Lord and finally ending the game.
That's right. Now we're going to take a look back at the highlights. Tell me what was the most notable point for you guys.
The most notable point for me was when the Aldous flew in, tried to catch out that Selena, but eventually they managed to take down Solos and turn the fight around. But let's look into the early game on how Edge actually slowly turned this back around. They managed to get a couple of kills over on the hands of Linux, and this top lane flank was beautiful over onto the Hayabusa. They managed to take another tower down, but every time they do so, you can see Bigatron slowly pushing through the bottom wave as well as the top lane as well.
I mean, Solos was a threat already coming in this particular mid game. He was just dealing so much damage. The rest of the members of Air Cyan, they are able to secure the kills for him, and that kind of lead to the snowball all the way. And you know what? Bigatron SG, they lost all their turrets, but again, that one single mistake from Air Cyan just lead to their downfall, as Bigatron SG was so quickly to capitalize onto that mistake and just going for the kill.
And one of the problems that Aegis had was Archive being really underleveled in the early game. And even towards the late game, you managed to buy that immortality, but you can only use it once. Once it's down, it's really difficult for them to actually engage or disengage. And over the top side, we have this amazing skirmish once again. Now,
This is the time that Air just saying lost it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
They hold on so well. Now, let's have another look at that.
See that the fights just take on here. I mean, it
It's
was
the Alice, man. It's the
Oh.
Alice.
the Alice was just soaking up all of the blood, the HP coming in, and of course WQXD effectively with the Alice and of course the Hayabusa, they are able to fall back, recover, and go in for the
That's
fight
right.
again.
And here, I don't know why they were extending the fight because Alice was there all the way. They still go in nonetheless.
Yeah, they could have possibly reset the fight and, well, go for the Lord and possibly do something else. So BTR definitely capitalized on that situation. But I gotta say, without Sana, this game would have been over
Of
for the
course.
side of
Yeah.
Megatron because he was holding all this minion waves.
Yeah.
If you look at it correctly, he has been holding the fort for the side of Megatron.
That's right. You have to give it to WQXC as well for pushing so much. His turret damage was so high compared to everyone else. He was constantly looking at split pushing, focusing on turrets, and making sure the game finishes as fast as possible.
Yeah.
And I also have to mention, even though Air just saying lost, I told you guys before we start, his Aldous is crazy good.
It is so good.
His Aldous is
I
crazy
mean,
good.
in like less, around 10 or the 12th minute, he already
Yeah.
has most of his core items already.
Yeah.
He was just dealing damage left and right. There was so much pack of a punch coming in from that one punch. Aldous, unfortunately, the rest of the members, they did their best to try to secure the kills, but then they couldn't finish them off. And Bigatron SG eventually, they have so much firepower, they have the momentum, and they ended that game.
That's right. No, it's just it comes really down to how they executed. They overextended, especially with Alice coming in. And like you
Sana.
mentioned, you had it, man. I wouldn't call for this. You called for it. How about you take this one for yourself?
Well, we talk about the Grok holding the fort and being the front line, soaking all the damage, and that that push coming from the Lord when Asia had it, he was holding all these minion waves from the mid lane, stalling it out and catching a few of these key members, and he got 11 assists, 4 kills, only 2 deaths, and nobody focused.
Yeah, even though they were
went
losing
down.
for most of the game,
Exactly.
he was doing a really great job. But yeah, back to this game. How would you conclude it before we jump into the next game, which could possibly be our last game here at MPL Season 2 Malaysia Singapore for day 1?
Well, I gotta say, Bigatron SG being the defending champions, they've already got the momentum from the regular season.
Yep.
They're looking to push it all the way and show us why they will go all the way in the final. So,
That's
of
right.
course, it's still a long way to run, and whoever wins this will face Evos Singapore. Now, we see Singapore teams today performing so well.
Amazing.
Every
Amazing,
one of
yeah.
them actually qualified towards the next stages here.
Yeah.
So, Bigatron SG.
We're gonna have like a Singaporean upper bracket if it goes
Perhaps
on.
so.
Yeah.
They call it the Singaporean surf, by the way. You know,
Could
that's
be.
like surfing
It
to
is-
Singapore.
It is definitely possible because of how these guys just come out and dominate. Even if they lose one game, they're just focused. They don't lose it out. Whereas some of the other teams, not saying Malaysian, Singaporean, doesn't matter. Some other teams, the problem with them is when they lose one game, they lose their mindset. They lose their focus.
Yeah.
So these guys are in it. They're focused and they want to get that trophy for themselves.
Correct.
KBC, you didn't conclude the match. What do you think?
It's gonna be a very up close battle between both teams. I feel like that game itself, it was somewhat Bigatron because of the early stages around. Then Asia Cyan came back. They gave us a glitter of hope to the Malaysian soil, to the fans
Yep.
out there. You know what? We destroy all 3 lanes. You know, we can go for it, but a single mistake just cost them the game. So 2 lessons to be learned out there, ladies and gentlemen. If you guys are watching, number 1, the single mistakes are the greatest downfall to your failure. And number 2, never give up. 3 lanes down, only the crystal base. You never give up till the last moment. You fight all the way till the game says end. Or
Look at
game
that.
over, literally.
Motivational
Yep.
speaker right here. You
Yes.
should have became a motivational speaker, not a panelist. You need,
Well,
you need to.
I'm asking the teams, guys, you want to hire me?
Anyone wants
Someday,
no,
I
no
guess.
One, no one.
Too bad.
We
so
all
sad.
we just want to press the surrender button, man. We don't need you.
Nah.
We don't need you.
Don't
all right.
surrender. Ranks matter.
Talking about
Yep.
this coming up game, the scary thing is, even though Asia State was doing better during most of the game,
Correct.
they couldn't close the game, which I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, when Bigatron won over 2-0, and Fredo mentioned this in his interview as well, the fact that, it was just disappointing for themselves that they thought they can win it, and Bigatron actually came out of nowhere and, they won 2-0.
Yep.
But correct me if I'm wrong, Asia was actually very close to winning in those games as well.
Definitely,
It's
really
not like
close.
they just lost it out completely.
Yeah, and we can see the momentum swing was so strong on their side. They managed to take out the Lord, as we mentioned. But it was the final field goals that could possibly take out the base, but it didn't do so. Now we're going into the second game already. This may make or break for the side of
That's right.
AJC, and they played in the bottom bracket, which didn't work out for them in Season 1. They're looking to change this now.
That's right.
Pushing into Game 3.
KBC, we saw the first game's draft. What is going to be different? What is going to be similar? Based on the bands that you've seen so far, we have Selena and Gushin. We probably will have Linux.
Yeah.
Could be in there. At least Alice could be in there. Alice has to be in there.
Yeah.
We've had an Alice ban earlier today. What do you think about it? Should Alice be banned or not? Alice, can you avoid her?
I think that it's still definitely debatable because there's so many party bans that you need to
Look
consider.
at first, right before Alice.
Exactly, and in all these games, Minotaur has had a lot of impact, although it's a frontline tank or support. Now, Lunox has to be taken out. There's just so much damage output coming in.
Fredo was a big issue in the last game.
Yes, definitely a big issue, but somehow they managed to take him out first in many of these battles, which they don't really need to worry too much from the side of BTR. Now, one last ban for BTR, what would it be?
This is gonna be very tough. I'm just gonna say maybe it's Alice. I don't think Bigatron wants to give to Team Malaysia. But again, you want to take out the bigger threat. Coming back to what I said beforehand, they're gonna take out the bigger threat, and they feel like Cloud is the bigger threat from there. So it's okay.
Would you guys agree with that?
Well, I do agree with it because it's one of these tank busters. He's the most slippery marksman slash assassin, but this is gonna be just saying finally getting their hands on their signature rock. So when Jahat immediately locks that one down, it's gonna be another Cho as well as a Martins here. I like the Martins pickup. So far, a lot of these teams that picked up the Martins today had a pretty good win rate.
I mean, I like the Cho pickup as well. He's able to start something out, and holy moly, mamma mia!
No, it's not picked yet. It's not picked yet.
Definitely not that.
It's not picked yet.
Logan's just teasing us left and right.
Before that, I do want to mention one thing. Grok has been picked up 5 times today. I think with this, it's going to be 6 times, and his win rate is 82%.
That's a very high win rate,
really
same
high.
as MSC 2018. I think MSC 2018 there was 1 point. Day 1 and day 2 was 100% win rate.
That's right. So you know that if you pick that Grok, like you said, you have that frontliner. If you want to attack, if you want to defend, doesn't matter. You have your wall to defend. You have your first skill to defend. There's so many things you can do with Grok.
Yep, exactly.
And that's why Eric just saying I think is quite lucky to be able to pick him this time around. It could give them game 2, and we probably will have to see a game 3. But in the meantime, we've seen an Alice picked up, a Hayabusa picked up by Eric just saying, and on the other hand, we have a Minotaur. It's either you get the Minotaur or you get the Grok. But some teams get both Grok and Minotaur, and they're just like so happy.
Oh, I actually love the Harley pick here. This is a comfort pick coming from the side of Bigatron. And we talked about Alice time and time again, and how most of these Singapore teams love to play that team fight meta. And this is just stealing one of the strengths from Bigatron SG. So from the side of AHSM, we talk about them being so flexible on all of these heroes. So there's a lot of options there. Karina, one of these signature picks from the side of LY4, but they might opt for something else.
Don't be so sure yet, Contra. It is going to be the Kaya.
Kaya indeed. I think Kaya has been proving really well, very decently in terms of fight, knocking down the heroes that they need and want to destroy with. It's just that the follow-up, I think the follow-up coming in from Hellcat and Hayabusa is going to be very strong. It's going to put up that ×2 damage comparing to the previous lineup, which they don't have this type of assassins coming into play. Now, final pick coming in from Bigatron. I feel like they should go for an assassin. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah, I think that they need a little bit more damage.
Hello. Hello there. LY4, LY4, LY4.
What is going on?
Channeling his spirit. That's going to be a
he's
lock
gonna
in
go
there.
in here. Ladies and gentlemen.
Bringing out the spear.
Yishoshin, first time.
I'm just looking at the chair, making sure LY4 doesn't pop out of the bag, and then just sit down and take
And
over.
it's gonna be Sana playing that.
Well, I think that it's definitely justifiable why they picked this one up because they need DPS in the team. They got the burst damage from Harley and as well as Cho trying to set